President Biden unveiling his new efforts to combat the country's racial gap as he commemorates the 100th anniversary of the Tulsa Race Massacre.
Young black entrepreneurs are just as capable of succeeding given the chance as white entrepreneurs are. But they don't have lawyers, they don't have accountants, but they have great ideas.
Former professor at Princeton and Vanderbilt Universities, Dr. Carol Swain joins us now to discuss. Dr. Swain, a pleasure to have you on our program. Look, that statement getting a lot of pushback on the social media for being pretty clunky. What was your reaction to those comments yesterday?
It's perfectly consistent with his record. Almost every time he has a history of opening his mouth and showing that he does not respect the black community. He talks about white supremacy, but his record is one that espouses white supremacy and a belief that blacks are inferior and incapable. It's ridiculous to say that blacks don't have lawyers and they don't have access to accountants. I am an entrepreneur. I've always had access to those things.
Yeah, it seems like you do that once, okay, maybe you had a slip of the tongue. But when you do it consistently, both during a campaign, after a campaign, the 47 years you were in government before then, it seems like there might be something else there. Want to move to this, though, the White House plan for fixing the racial wealth gap. There is a racial wealth gap. We need to acknowledge that. And here's the White House plan for fixing it, though. $10 billion to a community revitalization fund, $15 billion for new grants and technical assistance, neighborhood homes tax credit, $5 billion for unlocking the possibilities program, and $31 billion in small business programs. Is this proactive in terms of helping the black community, or is it pandering?
Well, I can tell you that a lot of that probably will not manifest itself, and if it does, it will end up with the same group of people that benefited from the Great Society programs, and a lot of that money was wasted, it was stolen, and I don't believe that the average black American will see much from it. And the Democrats are already on record saying that racism is permanent. I mean, they advanced critical race theory, so white supremacy is blamed for everything that's wrong in America. Every white person is a white supremacist. And so these programs that he's proposing, it's all about votes. It will not work, and whites will be blamed for the failure.
It is fascinating, and I think I understand the underpinning of what you said there. This needs to be taken care of early in black kids' lives, and that means in schools, giving those kids the tools to succeed. Before we let you go, I want to get your thoughts on this new New York Times article entitled "Disputing Racism's Reach, Republicans Rattle American Schools." Again, continuing on with this critical race theory thought. I'm going to read a quick quote. From school boards to the halls of Congress, Republicans are mounting an energetic campaign aiming to dictate how historical and modern racism in America are taught, meeting pushback from Democrats and educators in a politically thorny clash that has deep ramifications for how children learn about their country. Is this really about the midterms, as this article claims, trying to get votes, or is it really more to getting back to what we were taught in schools for decades that seem to be doing pretty well for our country? You know, math and science, the tools that kids, regardless of race, need to succeed in this world.
Well, critical race theory is a worldview that's totally contrary to what America is about, and it advances the victimization of minorities, it advances white supremacy, and it also runs counter to the civil rights movement, the civil rights laws, the Equal Protection Clause, and it is racism against white Americans because it demonizes people because of the color of their skin. That's not who we are in America. Our school children should not be forced to be shamed because of their skin color, and it is creating hostile workplaces and learning environments. That's unacceptable, and I'm glad Republicans are leading the fight for what America is truly about, a land of opportunity that people like me who came from poverty benefited from and were able to become successful. I represent millions of success stories from the black community.
Don't forget to check out Dr. Carol Swain's book, Be the People, A Call to Reclaim America's Faith and Promise. A pleasure having you on the program. Thank you very much for all that you do. Jillian, over to you.